Blessed Sunday morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
So I'm glad to be able to
Morning,
present
sir.
my study, morning. So
Morning, sir.
what propelled me to have this study during my dissertation? I was able to present this last March or February 6, 2020. Momenta.
I thought si Titan, sir?
Kung saning pahipos ang ako ang kuan.
Okay. Some students I could not admit right now because they are, I don't know if they are student, but they are using series of numbers and letters. So if you have friends who attempt to get inside, my suggestion is that to tell them to use their family name and use like
Kupitin siya sa tuang kuan. So what propelled me to make this study when I was still in the registrar's office for a long time. Keep on wondering, mga graduates na to will be coming to site to ask for transcript for further study. So di magyunan nato nga malikayan mga taan nata on say reasons why proceed because they're already occupying very good positions in the company. So they relay the experiences. They have different experiences company in terms of promotion, discrimination as being graduates of a 3-year program. That could be one of the many reasons why they pursue degree programs or higher education after working for a certain number of years in the company. So by the time I decided to have my title of the dissertation, I opted for qualitative, and supposedly I'm proposing for another quantitative, but I tried qualitative because during my masteral program, I was able to present a quantitative study, on the dynamic learning program of the school, which we have implemented certain number of years in the past years. Now, my qualitative title was approved. This is the pursuit to higher education. So I would like to share this output to you for two basic purposes. One is to know the experiences, the experiences of our graduates while working in the company after graduating from site, and to know also how a qualitative study is to be done, how to do with a qualitative study, which is really different from a quantitative study, because in a quantitative study, our data is purely numbers, then we do statistical treatment, while in the qualitative, our data is more on text data, result from the interviews of the informants. So this is in pursuit of higher education, when doing ordinary things extraordinarily well is not enough. So you're familiar with the title, because this is in relation to the exercise of our motto of the school. So the purpose of my study leverages on the benefits of having a very good education. The aspirations, achieving one's aspirations and improvement in quality of life through education are the ultimate goals of individuals coming from financially challenged families. So that is realizing aspirations and improvement in the quality of life through education. So there are really benefits if we really complete our education. And having technical vocational education and training as an alternative, as an option for us to acquire a good education to gainful employment. No? So acquiring TVET education is a good option to gainful employment. Now the study also explored the challenges. That is the main reason of the study, to explore and to know the challenges that our graduates were into, the challenges of the TVET graduate, not only our graduates of site, but also graduates of other TVET institutions. That, but even if they are really prepared well, even if they are doing their tasks and they're performing well in the company, now, of course, for a certain number of years they spend in the company, they are going to vie for promotions, but since they lack the necessary documentary requirements for a certain position, they cannot have that position, because according to some of our informants, there are really some qualifications, set of documents that they have to acquire for them to have a specific position. And there are also discriminations in the workplace and some other valid reasons for them to pursue higher education. One is for just to fulfill their dreams, no? To have the diploma, no? To have the degree, because it is part of the culture of the Filipinos. That is a degree mentality, a diploma mentality. So going back, so despite of the very well performance in the company, so we can say that doing well at work is not enough. That's why they decided, it's main reason for them to pursue higher education. One is to seek promotion and to have that aspired position. So they have pursue, they proceed to degree programs in the universities, mostly in the universities that will recognize the subjects that we have in sight. So this is the main purpose of the study, to explore the experiences of TVET graduates for possible interventions. So through policy generations, we can possibly provide some solutions to the problems, or what we call the challenges of the graduates of TVET schools as they work in the company, as they go with the culture of the industries we have before, because currently there are already some modifications in the promotion systems of the industry, but the old system is still there. So when you have your study, you have your research, you start with the purpose. You have start with the rationale of the study. Then it is followed by the theoretical background. So the theoretical background focus on the theories that will support your study. You, the theories that support your study. So the study, so you have a main theory, that is what we call the anchor theory of your study. You have to choose a theory. There is a link. There is a link that you can select from various theories depende on sa imuhang study. This qualitative study is focused on the motivation of an individual. And when you type motivation, there are different theories that will come out. So the main theory that supports this study, what we call the anchor theory, is on self-determination theory of Edward Deci and Richard Ryan. Now,
Excuse Sir Peps, are you presenting, sir?
Yes, Don. Wala. O
Wala
bawas.
makita, sir.
Na-share naman to. Kani, wala. Wala, Don.
Hello?
Okay, there you go.
Ana?
Makita na.
Okay.
Ganina, kaya-share naman ni ganina.
I thought I really thought that you're presenting. So, wala lang makita na to. Okay na, sir.
Okay na.
Full screen lang siguro kay basi og on the phone dili kay maklaro sa mga estudyante. Mga to F5 yata. F5 ba kung PowerPoint? Okay.
Okay na? Okay na.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sumukan ka na kung mga ero. So mao ni ato ang rationale of the study. Then we have the theoretical background. So the study is anchored on self-determination theory of Edward Deci and Richard Sarayan. So this self-determination theory revolves on the innate needs of an individual for his yang psychological needs for him to be accepted, focus on his self-worth. So the self-determination theory revolves on competence, his competence, autonomy, and relatedness. So when we say about competence, that is capability to do to perform his skills as required of his task in the company. And when we say autonomy, he is free to do it upon supervision in relation with other workers in the company. And we say relatedness, this the feeling of belongingness, the feeling of being accepted in the workplace. So that is the self-determination theory, and the needs of competence, autonomy, and relatedness could be done only with a high degree of self-determination. Now, your anchor theory, your main theory, should be supported by at least two supporting theories. Now, in my case, in my qualitative study, I chose two supporting theories. The self-worth theory of achievement and motivation by Martin Covington, and the acquired needs theory of David McClelland, which focus on the acceptance and self-worth of an individual to be accepted in a certain environment. And some related studies and the Philippine laws as legal basis for the study, since we are talking here about pursuit of higher education. So musun na diri ang katong Republic Act 10764, that is the Laderized Republic Act of the Philippines, meaning what you have acquired from your previous studies are credited. So nalagibalaod ana, unlike before, the too much exercise of academic freedom for some higher institutions in terms of crediting of the subjects. So for now, there is really the Philippine credit transfer system, which is already in the pipeline. Now, when you say some related studies, so when you have your, whether it is qualitative or quantitative, you have to get some related studies in that supports your research. Naidaghan sa Google Scholar, where you can find some related studies. You can also get their findings to support yours. So one ito ang theoretical background. Now, the theoretical background for when you conduct research must be comprehensive. So daghan jud kag theoretical background, daghan ka og related studies. You focus only on some supporting theories, one or three, but there should be many, many various supporting studies. Minimum of 30, minimum of 30, because these supporting studies will be used as you present and analyze your text data. So wag ka gyud imong theoretical background. Minimum for the doctoral program will be 30 pages for ang imong theoretical background lang, which covers the theories and the supporting studies. The statement of the problem, you have to state your problem. So this qualitative study aimed to explore the experiences of TVET, or the Technical Vocational Education and Training graduates. So like what we have inside, so our programs are considered TVET, or the programs of other TVIs, so technical vocational institutions, they are considered as TVET. So to explore the experiences of technical vocational education and training graduates of the Diploma in Engineering programs of SITE, of Technical Institute, Cebu City. So these are the graduates of the ATP program, the Industrial Technician program, who proceeded to have degree programs in other higher institutions. Their experiences will be our focus of the study. Then we have the research methodology. So when we say research methodology, this covers the design, the method of how to acquire the research data, who will be your informants, and how to gather the data, where is your work, where is your research environment. So let's start with the research methodology. Since this is qualitative, there are different methodologies or designs that you can choose when you go for qualitative study. Qualitative, so you have phenomenology, when you deal with studies that involve the emotions, the feelings of an individual. So for example, the experiences of, example, so let's say a drug dependent through his recovery. So that could be a qualitative study under phenomenology. So when it deals with emotions, feelings of an individual, so you go with phenomenology. Now you can also have grounded theory. If you want to establish a certain theory that are not yet established, then you have also narrative, which could also which can involve one or many informants or respondents or subjects of the study. So mas dali ang narrative kay if you just allow the subject, or you just allow the respondent to write something, the details of his life, you can have a narrative research. Then you can have also what other forms? You can have ethnography. When you study a culture of a certain social group, for example, you are going to venture into qualitative study on the culture of site, how do we do things in the school culture, that it could be ethnography. But in the ethnography, you have to stay in the environment where you are going to conduct your study. So if you are going to conduct a study of the Badjaus in Mambaling, so you have to go there. You have to stay with them for a certain number of months for you to establish your research. That is ethnography. But in my case, I opted to have the descriptive case study. The case study is somewhat related to phenomenology, but the focus will be on process, individuals, and systems, which is going to improve or to seek some improvement on the process and how it is being delivered. So that's why I chose the descriptive case study approach. So this is a descriptive qualitative study. And most of the qualitative study, this is not presented. This is not, you cannot find this in most of the qualitative study. When you go to Google Scholar and you search for some qualitative study, the flow chart or the framework of the study is not present. But my panel during my presentation, during my proposal, asked me to produce this flow of the study. How do you gather data? So the flow chart of the study starts with the input. It is the input, process, output, which is usually done for evaluative research. You have the IPO. So when you say IPO, usually this is related to evaluative research. So you have the input. So what are the inputs? What are the inputs of the study? So these are the experiences of TVET graduates who pursued engineering degrees as to their descriptions of the programs, the extent has the program helped in their employment, and the recommendations that they can provide for possible interventions. So your main problem will be the experiences of the TVET graduates who pursued higher education, and why they have pursued higher education. And the sub problems are the descriptions. How do they describe the academic preparations they have, the extent the program helped them, to what extent the program helped them and their employment, and what possible recommendations that they can provide so as to improve and to provide some interventions in order to improve the program enhancement, what we call enhancement to the existing program. So but that will be our input to this qualitative study. Now, how do we gather data? That is the process. So this descriptive case study using the interview guide for semi-structured face-to-face interviews. So say I use the interview guide in order to gather data. That is semi-structured face-to-face interviews, which involves the gathering of data. So when we say gathering of data, through interview and face-to-face interview with the informants. By the way, in the qualitative study, ang imuhang mga participants, tawag na natog informants or respondents. While in the quantitative study, you call your participants as subjects or participants of the study. So na siya proper terminology. Basta qualitative, you call it informants or respondents. While in the quantitative, you have participants or subjects of the research. So gathering of data. So how do you gather data? By interview, face-to-face interview. Then you have to record the interview. So these are the materials that you need. You have a tape recorder. Every time you interview, you conduct face-to-face interview with your informants. You have to ask permission also to tape record the conversation. Then start with the coding. You transcribe the interviews, then you code the important statements, then you present your data, you analyze your data, and you have also some ethical considerations. Ethical considerations are very important in the conduct of qualitative study. This is very important in the conduct of qualitative study because you ask permission, you are going to ask some personal questions that are very confidential to the informant. Then this also involves the trustworthiness of the study. When you say when your study is credible, when could be your study is dependable, there are some criteria you can when you can say that your study is trustworthy. So it must be credible, meaning the way the data has been extracted, then the sources of your information, then it must be dependable, then it must be confirmable and transferable. These are the criteria wherein you can say your study, your qualitative study is trustworthy. And it must be triangulated. When you say triangulated, so aside from your informants that you have picked up, those who can really provide information of your study, so aside from them, you are going to also interview other individuals, other graduates, dili part sa imuhang research informants in order to get the the required information if the data that you acquired are really the correct information. So you have to triangulate, or you have to read some related studies, local studies that will support your findings. Then the output. So unsa may output sa qualitative study? Okay, sa quantitative, your output will be the decision whether your hypothesis is valid or not. Because in the qualitative study, you are going to test your hypothesis. Diba? After the problem, after the statement of the problem, you are going to state your hypothesis, whether your null hypothesis, your hypothesis number 1, your hypothesis number 2. Then you are going to test your hypothesis through some pre-test, post-test. But in the qualitative study, your output will be your hypothesis. You are not testing hypothesis in the qualitative, but you output the hypothesis. That is one of the outputs. The main outputs will be your themes. So the common themes for implications and for future practice are the hypothesis of the study. Meaning when you have the hypothesis, these are the tentative answer to your problems. So you generate hypothesis rather than you test hypothesis. That is in the qualitative study. So mo itong pangitaon sa qualitative study. The common themes coming, asa man nagikan ang common themes. These are coming from the interviews, from the informants.
Sir Peps, excuse sir.
Yes, Don.
Sir, I think I have problems with my Zoom account ba. Murag na compromise man jud siguro ni. Anyways, in less than 1 minute, this will end. Murag I assigned you as the host. I-check lang sir if it can still go through. Kay I will be evicted from the